Wop, wop, wop. What up, Mar? There It's just to tell what it's doing. It shows the circles going around it. It's just not very big. Okay, what the hell makes sense? Okay. It's not digital. It's not there. And I can hear you on my end. Loud tape recorder. Yes. So loud. It was so loud. Oh, so loud. What terrible sounds. That wasn't crack. I was just putting my headphones on. Somebody I'll be smoking that rock. No judgment. You like that rock? That's all you. Thanks, Tamar, for stopping and jamming a little bit. How many people can say they jammed with somebody in Belgium today? Me. Some people there. Right, I guess. And I think it pushes the limits when you're trying to do too much. I liked what I heard, dude. You should record it digitally and like send the tracks through email, and then I'd be able to work with it more. Like I think I have 1 or 2 drum tracks digitized. I've been slacking. Oh yeah. Feels like probably sounds silly, but I'm listening to myself on the headphones, so it echoes. So I'll be playing with echoes. What up, Rude?
Salute, brother. What's going on? How you been, man?
Chilling.
I can't complain. Working on this book. Shit.
Hell's
Chilling.
yeah.
What's the subject of the night? Who else on here with you?
Me and me.
You and me. Well, what's the subject, bro?
Oh, what's a good one? Why do
What's
people believe in the yin yang?
hmm, what's
Because
that like? Both?
science, like if you go into a room full of darkness with a candle, boom, light. But if you go into a room that's full of light with darkness, there's no darkness.
That's yin and yang.
Seems like it doesn't mix.
When somebody is happy and somebody is sad.
Yeah, but that's emotionless. I don't know.
You're right. When somebody is new, somebody is away. When something is good and something is bad.
Okay, now I can hear. I think. Am I coming through clear? No.
I think most words in language have a. Let me make sure I say this right. Wow, most words in Western languages have a yin and a yang, or up and a down to it, a sun and a moon, a hand and a foot. You know what I'm saying? But when you get the words like maybe eyes, there ain't no yang for eyes, or there ain't no yang for mouth. You know, but most words do have a yin and a yang to it. That's the right way to look at it.
Yeah, the ears and the mouth kind of do because they're sound and then sound receivers.
Say that
It's weird.
again.
Like your ears kind of have their counterpart because the mouth and the ears receive sound and present sound.
Say that again.
Like your ears kind of have their counterpart.
But they're here for like one reason, and that's to receive sound.
Yeah.
That's why I be on that word geek shit, cause Man, when you know them words, yeah, you know what I'm saying. That word, it don't have a yin and a yang to it for real. But you right though in the, I don't know. That might be one word you might want to try to put two meanings to it.
Exactly. There's so many words that they have double and triple entendres nowadays. It's like, just listening to people talk, it's like, what hell concept was presented to you? And then you got to go back to the source that they finally do cite, and you're like, okay, improper grammar. That's where it all starts for a lot of it.
Yeah, I think proper grammar is improper grammar. When I,
Restructured tonality.
huh?
It's like they restructured the tonality to make it awkward.
Yeah, yeah, because most people in other countries, they're taught a language, and I'm gonna make a hypothetical statement on this, but they're taught a language that's inside the radio station 106.3 to 106.5.
Yep.
So Western language is in that frequency, but when we get to like English, that shit like 102.4 or 109.6. So we don't go with the vibrations of the radio stations that's in, and that's like 106.3 to 106.5. So yeah, when we be having all these double meaning words, that be only in English for real. It don't be in these other or Western languages anyway.
No, when they talk, it sounds like music. To
And
express
shit.
yourself fluently in English, you sound like a machine. Like, tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, real talk.
I hear it at work, man. The women start talking. They'll be like, David, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll lift those boxes or whatever. I understand what they're saying, but I can't really, even when I respond to them in Spanish, it still comes out like, "K- k- k- k."
But Spanish ain't even a real language. Like, if people would understand, if you would talk to a person that say they from Spain,
They speak
you like,
Castilian.
yeah, you be like, you ain't from Spain, you from Castilian, bro. And they be like, oh, you ain't a stupid, you ain't sleep. Okay, yeah, you're right. You be like, you don't speak Spanish, you speak Castilian. That's like Latin. They be like, yeah, you're right. You're not sleep. Walk off on your ass or some shit.
You got to have that identity, man. That's the be all end all, isn't it?
Huh?
Everybody has to have that identity for some reason. It's
I
like,
think only in America we taught this shit, man. I don't think people that know other languages, it's gonna be impossible to teach them.
yeah, they still, my friend been here since he was 6 when he came from Russia, and he still struggles with some of the concepts and word structures. And he'll be texting me and I'll say something. He'll call me up and be like, I don't understand what you mean. I'm like, how? Like it's plain English. He's like, duh. Like it's foreign to me.
You know, it's hard for him to get that word Slav or slave.
Yeah.
I know that's a hell of a word, man. You're like, what the fuck you mean? These black dudes talking about they some Slavics. The fuck you mean? I know
It's
that's a
the
hard boy.
people got weird concepts, man. They think, okay, one region, one color. Like, no. Even when they say those Europeans, like, which ones? There's a lot of countries in Europe that aren't white.
Yeah. I'll be trying. You see, I'll be trying. People don't be really trying to. Hey, if my phone go dead only on 1%, I'm trying to get it to charge. But don't think I'm hanging up on you or no shit like that.
Oh, no worries, man.
Bad thing. But yeah, you see, I be one and only channel somebody like, look, man, y'all be talking about a whole continent. And I don't even think all Europeans call themselves Europeans.
Well, they all forget, like, what did we have? The Ice Age, right? And then it melted and the water rose, and that's what made the oceans. Before that, it's one landmass. That's why, like, what, 6 months, 8 months ago, I started telling everybody, get a hold of that program, the software the woman invented that removes all the oceans from Earth and all the waterways, so you can see the landscape as it looks without it. And you can see the old structures. You can see like, okay, there was the city down there, and then bam, the sea rose 300 feet, and all of a sudden you got a canal here, and you got a lake there, and it's not like everyone thinks that it's always been these 7 continental areas.
My guess is all these caves were somehow mysteriously connected and it had water in them. And I think somehow the dams broke in the water underground because you know in the Bible even says water underground and stuff that lived underground. I think, like you said, it made the rivers rise because there's 4 states of water missing. When I say missing, there's and I ain't say cities. There's 4 states like the size of Europe. Like when you talk about the Grand Canyon, it's just missing a a large amount of water that just like well, where the fuck that shit go?
Yeah,
And then you
right.
be
They tell you it happened over thousands of years, and this river just magically made a canyon. Well, how come there ain't other canyons like that?
yeah.
Took millions of years for the coral reef to happen. The Earth's billions of years old. Where the hell's all the coral reef? Telling me they broke all of it up for aquariums? Like, come on.
Yeah. I think it's something I got to give Red Squid credit, but he just so we're just on different levels. How about that though? But he be talking about that inner Earth stuff.
It's
I
the
just wish.
same thing. It's just caves. Like, if you had access to water, why would you build a house that the wind can blow down, or a tornado or hurricane can fuck it up, flooding, when you can just go into a giant cave system? You know, go out, hunt during the day, fish, do whatever you like. Oh, nighttime coming. Grab some torches and some firewood, and bam, you're in cave town partying it up.
I mean, and it makes sense too when they be like so-called white people from the caves. They be forgetting that these caves had great structures in them, and they went for hundreds of miles, and there was rivers inside that motherfucker, and you could pop up anywhere in America out that motherfucker. So we might have to restructure the cave system and
In science, like, why do you think the skin goes light? Because they're out of the sunlight. They stop being exposed to sunlight.
facts. I'm
So
just
they have that fish that grows up in the cave, and it has no eyesight, and it's albino because it's never been exposed to the sunlight. I view it like that.
man, this might be your motherfucking lane.
Zero, what's up? Got Zero in the house, Beaches in the house, Kirk being
You talking about
arbitrary.
in the house,
Zero the
Miss O
Infinite,
in the
Kirk
house?
Washington, Miss Beach, OG Wit,
Oh yeah,
the Digress Gang.
I love her. She cool as hell. I be
I like
trying to
the
support.
team.
You said though makes sense though. I'd like to build with you on that one day. If you ain't gonna have it on your platform, I'll bring it on my platform and say, well, I'm gonna bring on this dude named the Illusion that's talking about man. You just said something that made super sense too. Fuck just the caves. You talking about the light spectrum. That's deep though, and motherfuckers ain't gonna like that. That you could put the cave system to a lot of different countries and nationalities. And since all of us black people say y'all come from the caves, you can say, look, well, which one, motherfucker?
Facts, like, you didn't get that dark skin not being in the sun. Like, we all got melanin. It's an adaptation, but everybody's got the same color palms. And look at the bottoms of your feet. What color are they?
Everybody same color.
Exactly. And that only happens because, like science says, we share 99.9% of our DNA with each other. That means, aside from local variations and family lines, we're all the same species. We're all humans. We're all Aborigine because if you're here now, you were here then. That's how DNA works. Alligators back then means you got
Okay, man.
alligators today. Sharks back in the day, sharks today. Like, unless it stops breeding, it keeps going.
But something you said made total sense though, is when we talk about our skin and the amalgamation or the I don't understand how to make that word albion. I don't understand that word, but anyway, just being in darkness in the caves in the cooler climate, which is in the caves, that can explain a lot of stuff. And then you could bring yourself to being indigenous to a lot of places fucking around. You could throw that cave shit back in black people's face, like, well, I could be from the caves of Kentucky. They
Yeah,
got brick structures in this motherfucker that go 300. I feel you though, and I
and
like
those are
it.
the ones. Those are the ones that turn red in the sun, like me, versus the ones that are from like the ice continents in Northern Europe, where they don't turn. You know, like Norway people don't tan. They sunburn, but they won't tan.
Man,
It's a
you might,
different adaptation.
man, you might want to motherfucking write some of this shit down because I might, shit might bring you on my show. Goddamn it, I need that shit. Goddamn it, I need some of that. You
And I
know
need
how
to
we understand
cite my
that
sources.
people come from the mountains. I would love to see
Shit,
you.
man. Yeah, I've been to Luray Caverns. That shit is expansive. The one I forget which cavern it was in Ohio, but it was pretty crazy too. And then the Old Man Cave in Ohio, that one was giant. Like, there's so many places out there that don't really get a lot of coverage. If people seeing that shit, they'd be like, "What? This is like paradise in America? How come nobody's there?"
Yeah, yeah, you right about that. It might be your lane, man. It might be your lane. That's a good topic though. And you know
Chad
a lot of
Murdoch in the house. Big
uh
Chad.
oh, we got Chad from Chad around this motherfucker. Pessimistic Chad around this motherfucker. I hope he doing all right though. Shit, was hating ass.
Yeah, he's been going through it.
Yeah, I be feeling sorry people from other countries though, for real. Even though they be talking shit, motherfuckers think that I'll be disliking them. I'll be like, damn, I wouldn't even because I come from the hood, which means I done seen a lot of struggle. So I don't knock people's struggle. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what crayon color you is. If you struggling, I feel sorry for you. Like fuck.
Exactly.
Like damn.
Hurting is hurting.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hurt
I
don't
don't
have
want
no
someone.
crayon color to
I wouldn't
it.
want someone being like, "Nah, I would help you, but fuck you, Whitey." I'd be like, "What the hell's
Yeah.
wrong with you?" Kick a man while he's down.
I think that's how they're trying to make us in America.
Yeah, they perpetrate it enough, but it's like most people don't fall for it because you
I
can't.
feel
Like, how are you gonna tell people there's like half the people in town are black and half of them are white, and you're gonna try to subdivide them and tell them they're enemies? It's like, who? Which ones you talking about? Like, all my neighbors are cool. Like,
yeah, facts, facts. Like where I'm at, it's right next door to Kentucky, so we just surrounded by a whole bunch of white folks and hillbillies. And there's probably out of every thousand, there, out of every hundred, there might be five that are just fucking wild as racist motherfuckers. But the rest of them, like you say, man, I don't be worried about them motherfuckers. Cool as hell, man. Motherfuckers will help you like a motherfucker or leave you alone. One of the two, they gonna help you or leave you the fuck alone. Like, look, man. Shit, I
we'll tell
don't
you,
go
like,
nowhere.
don't fuck with that guy. He's evil. That one's a piece of shit. Like, we'll give everybody a heads up. Like, these are the people that we don't even like. Fucking get them out of here.
I think they got the right to be like that, as long as they don't step over the boundaries.
Yeah, I mean, ignorance is ignorance if you want to think that way, and that's how you. Because obviously, either they were taught it or something scarred them so deeply emotionally that they haven't learned to get past it. But
Yeah,
that's going to be what it's going to be, no matter what you try to tell them. So you got to accept it and just wait on them to figure it out. As long as they're not doing crazy shit, like burning crosses or slurring against people, doing just nonsensical shit.
I think we got to get over that slurring shit, cause we some slurish motherfuckers.
It is kind of a bit much. Like,
Huh?
I especially like I don't teach my kid those words, and it's like fuck, I can't listen to half the rap music because it's every other word, and it's like how am I supposed to tell them it's a bad word and all these people hate hearing this word, and then they're all saying this word. But it's
Yeah.
not my thing, so I don't worry about it too much. I just explain it like, all right, they're cool with it and we're not. So
I feel you on that one. But yeah, I want you to do a little research for me, man, on your so-called cause I agree with you on a lot of stuff you say. It's just hard for me to fight for. You know what I'm saying? I put my own goddamn flags down and shit. It's hard for me to fight for about 15 million other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Unless they gonna come into the movement. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to hear your declaration on how you feel about the cave systems and how how the people that have lighter hue or albionism they might be from every cave system.
I say go back to genealogy. It's pretty easy to figure out, okay, my people have been here 700, 800 years, period. That's before slavery, that's before Columbus. Like, if you can put them back there, it's not too hard, especially when shit's named after you and you got land masses and places, connected to your family name.
And as
And
us
even
black folks,
then, if people want to come over, great. Just don't come over here trying to make your city and country over here in America, because this ain't there. You can put your little flavor on your spot, but
so you're saying that
I'm happy with immigration. Just don't expect to turn America into little Africa or little China or little Tokyo. Like, be a part of the team.
a little Europe, and we gotta
It sucks.
we can't be none of them. We just gotta be. So you saying that you think that there were some people that had skin color like mine and skin color like yours that was over here pre-slavery.
Facts.
Facts. Oh, hey, man,
Archaeology shows it. There's clearly Aboriginal archaeology. There's cave art. And then there's also bodies and skeletons and mummies that they dig up with better technology than they're supposed to have. And a lot of them they won't do the DNA on because it totally disproves their theory of the land bridge on the Bering Strait. It disproves out of Africa. It basically disproves the last 100 years of archaeology. But
and then you know, favorite us black folks' favorite is the white man come from the caves. You might could turn it around on us like, yeah, we come from the Ohio and the Kentucky caves now, and the Arizona caves and the Mexican caves now. Because
exactly,
there's a
man.
lot
You
of
come back with dates like, okay, 14,000 years ago. Well, that's older than they say Egypt is. So where's that Africa then? Camels came from North America. Like, that means Africa and all that was just another stopping point, or maybe they never stopped and they just kept going around following the seasons. It seems more like a nomadic people would do that anyway. And then along the way, you'd have some that were breeding and having kids, so they'd stop and settle down, and everybody else would just keep trucking. There's no telling. Like, there's so many
because in the
possible
Bible it talk
explanations.
about my fault. I didn't hear you. My fault. Say that again.
No, no, you keep going.
Oh no, I was just like, in the Bible they talk about a person fell in love with that person that could turn like different colors.
Yeah, and vice versa. Like,
I'm just saying,
it said Solomon fell in love with Sheba's dark skin.
facts. I'm just trying. Yeah, it's a whole bunch of. I don't mean to be rude, man. You might be the great white hope, man. Motherfuckers need to feel good story about white folks, man. Because I'm damn sure trying to make a feel good story for my folks, man. If you're trying to say that you got the same bloodline as me, and you made the caves where I'm from, man, and the hills where I'm from, man, shit, man. We need you on the team. Give us some feel good stories around here. I'm tired of
I
all
just
these
look at my
old.
family tree, dude. I've had people look me up on Facebook and they're like, "Yo, man, I'm your cousin," and they're dark as dark can be. I'm like, right on, and they connected like we're 3 or 4 cousins apart. It's like nice. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that's America.
I mean, you about to go up against the goddamn it Black Hand of America now. You gotta have your facts right.
Like, what you
Boy, you
got?
gotta have your
Google? All you got is Google. Google. Funny Google.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm telling you, boy, you about to go up against the fucking. And I'm with you. We can go up against them as long as you can stand on your square. I like that. I like how you sounding though.
Ain't nobody
I
taking
feel
my
that shit.
homeland. Shit. I listen to these people and they're like, we don't like borders. Why? Because we're not in control of the borders. It should be our land. Like, but you're not from here. Like, if you want your land to be here, buy a parcel and that's your land. That's how it works. You don't just get land because you're darker skinned than someone else. Or because, like, and that's another thing, like, I've been bringing up a lot. Like, everybody in their reparations, like, they know who the slave owners were. Go after them. There was like 200 and some families that did it. That's pretty easy to track down. Go after.
Facts, and it was only from four countries. It was only from Portuguese, Spain, France, and England. Why they blaming all 44 European countries? You right, I bet. Oh shit, man, we need them. Man, I don't know if to call you white. I don't know what I'm gonna say. My American brother, man. We need a motherfucker like you on the team, man. I
Yeah, because
swear.
you got all
Shit.
that. It's like, okay, if slavery's so evil, why aren't you rioting over Libya? Like that dude, he got on TV today and he's like, yeah, man, there's been 140 shootings in Chicago in the last 3 days. Where is the protests for that? It's just a matter of
Yeah,
priorities.
I'm a hood guy, and I don't like the shooting. I don't like we be shooting each other a lot, and I'm a hood guy. I don't. None of us. We don't. You see, we don't defend that. Like, stop talking about that. We be like, oh God, that's a bad one in our hood. We just shoot each other. Yeah, that's some fucked up
Yeah,
shit.
man, unless somebody raped your woman or fucked with your kid, there ain't really nothing worth shooting someone over. That's serious business at that point. Like, feelings ain't something I like. It's got to be a direct physical. Yeah. And even then, it's like, really? I don't want to play God. It is
I
kind of a
think the
social
younger.
experiment, Chad. I agree.
I think I ain't saying that Chicago ain't on the upheaval, but now that I know that Farrakhan's headquarters is up there and the Masons headquarters is up there, that there's probably a lot of military actions going on up there.
Yeah, it's obvious at this
Uh,
point. 'Cause it's only in the major cities where they still have strongholds. It's in Seattle and Chicago. They pretty much shut New York down. Florida's even getting cracked
but
down.
but most of the cities, when it comes to the inner cities, though, like the murder rates are down catastrophe. Like it's a catastrophe for the murder rate. It's like way below level.
Yeah. The more they
You know,
legalize
but
weed,
in
all the
certain
crime's
cities
got to
though,
be going
so
down. It's like
yeah.
half of the crime rate is
Only thing
just
that's
legalizing.
my fault.
Oh, you go. But yeah, I think I said something like one study showed that crime was down 39% every area that had adopted legalized weed or medical weed. Like it
Hell
dropped
yeah.
crime. Boom.
I be like I'll sell some weed in front of a cop right now. I don't even give a fuck about that shit. Fuckers be looking at me crazy, like man, you ain't. Like I be like, man, y'all like 10 years behind. It's marijuana, man. Just gonna get caught with a whole. It's weed, bro. Like, meet me around the corner. I'm like, no.
Like come right to my house and chill for a minute. You'll get straight.
Uh, I hear you.
I said I didn't like the old days where everything had to be all clandestine. Talking about where you at?
Yeah.
I'm in this car. I'm gonna meet you over here. And then they call you back. I saw a cop. I got to go someplace else. Like, shit, man. I just want to swack. Like, come on. Trying to get my smoke. East Coast sucks for that.
I swear, motherfuckers be on a pound of weed thinking they on a brick or some shit.
The kingpin. I got a QP, man. Now I can call the shots. Like, what? Get the hell out of here, you sticks and stones.
Shit,
The weed's
crazy.
called stress.
I think they opened up Pandora's box, and it's no way to close it when they start legalizing that weed, because they let certain white folks and certain black folks turn into Jews, if that's the right word, which means they become the producers and the wholesalers. And
Yep.
that's what the organization of Jews is. They're like they don't care if you work for NBC or CBS, but they're going to be the producer of NBC or CBS. They don't care if you make football, basketball, but they're going to be the producer or the wholesaler of leather. You
Put
feel
a
what I'm
stamp on
saying?
it.
So
They got to
yeah,
get
when
their
they let a
fingers
whole
in every pie. Chad says there's three ancient civilizations. America is influenced by Rome, Babylon, and Egypt. How do you think they built the pyramids, Beach? I think it's built just like described. They made mud bricks. Didn't take alien technology.
yeah, because if you leave the African pyramids alone, where the slaves are not from, so it don't belong to the slaves of America. It's like it's on the totally other side of Africa. But anyway, the pyramids that don't belong to the slave descendants, if you left them alone for like 2 years, they would fall down. Like they need to be restored every year, like $1 million restoration. So, but the ones in America, you don't got to touch them motherfuckers. And they just there. Like, look, man, just our masonry work is dope. It's just some
Shit,
weird
they're all
stuff.
growing through. It's got grass and trees, like it's a whole natural construct, and it's still holding strong. And it's 10 times bigger. Like, this shit's the whole mountain sometimes.
I just did a show on that earlier where they did not let it go through, bro. Like I
Wow.
did my first show when I went down the street and I showed people like 8 to 9 pyramids with about 1,000 trees on top of them. Like our pyramids, you could put 1,000 trees on top of them and shit, and a hiking, yeah, where you could have a hiking trail and a old something old was up there with millions of bricks. I don't know, I don't be on that East Africa where the slaves ain't even from type shit. Yeah. I could tell that was where the slaves was from. Like, all right, slaves, y'all made some good shit. But people
Not only
be
that, but
giving
it's like,
credit.
wouldn't there be more than three? That's all you got is three pyramids and the Sphinx. Like, okay, the Valley of the Kings, but that's separate architecture that's kind of different. And the God statues, those are all kind of similar, but I don't know. I'd have to see what's under the one lake. What is it, the Aswan, where they made the Aswan Dam? Supposedly, there's a lot of hidden shit underneath that lake.
I mean, just imagine taking your family up there. Like, well, I'm about to take my family to Egypt and Africa. Like, I ain't saying it ain't a sight to see. I ain't disrespecting it and saying it ain't nothing beautiful, but I'm just like, if you ever seen that shit, like, there ain't even a water fountain there. Like, you can't even climb on top of that motherfucker and like, I don't, I'm like, are you getting what I'm saying though? Like, even in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, America, if you go to the top of one of these hills, they're gonna have a motherfucking water fountain for you, man. Some trees and flowers and
A bench.
a road.
They have some soda machines and a porta potty. They'd be like, "Come on, check this shit out. Spend some time and some money."
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
everybody's like risking getting shot to look at it up close, and there's bricks laying all over the ground. But they're talking about, oh, it used to be covered in marble, and it was the best thing in the world. Like, okay,
Yeah, I just don't respect that Africa shit. One thing I respect in Africa is they got a wall in Nigeria, and it's like a cliff, but it's a wall that go for like 30 miles or 13 miles. It's 30 miles or 13 miles. But it lets me understand how America was. like, damn, because I be seeing a lot of walls that's just tore down. I'd be like, oh, that's how America was. But so there was some type of weird shit in Africa, but it's just I don't respect Africa's nothing, man. I'm sorry, man. I know this might sound kind of corny, because I'm racist, man. I could really say I'm racist. I'm like, since I know I'm from the race of America. If you ain't from the race of America, I'm not concerned about you. So that's racist. Well, fuck it, I'm racist. But anyway, I respect Europe more than I respect Africa, man. I know that might sound corny, man, but I mean, Africa can't even beat Europe in soccer, bro. How can I respect some motherfuckers when the whole continent of Africa can't even beat Europe in soccer, man? Like, I don't respect that shit, man. Like, come
Well,
on,
that,
bro. You
like,
gotta
how
get.
do they claim diamonds? Like everybody's like, the diamond is ours, and we make it's the diamonds our people, and it's like, well, the largest diamond mine in the planet is in Russia. So how's that African?
You know, I don't fuck with that African shit, man. You know,
I'm
I
not
don't, man.
hating. I just like to see it. I would like to see it all factually laid out. Like I think there's just a lot of misinformation on Africa purposely, so that they can deprive the people any kind of credit.
Like when it come to this lady, Miss OG Wit, she a part of the group, the sororities. And if you see how these women be dancing and stepping, and they're just they're feminine. I'm gonna
Skills.
keep it positive. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's American made, man. The letter, the Greek letter. That's all in America, in every city, in every college in America. That shit ain't in the west coast of Africa. There ain't no Greek letters in the west coast of Africa going, ooh, ah, say, you know, doing your little steps and you know what I'm saying, making every man look at you, knowing how to turn the eye. You know what I'm saying? I'm just that's that American shit, man. It ain't even no crayon color. They got the white and the black sororities, man. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers women be knowing what they doing out there, man. Yeah, man. I don't be feeling
Like the
that.
dashiki though.
Huh?
The dashiki is cool. It's comfortable cloth.
What?
When you wear your dashiki, it's all colorful. Like it's a good shirt. I had one a while back.
I like my white tee, goddamn it. I slang you my white tee.
I can't
I
wear
don't
white,
know.
dude. Oh my god, like it'll stain too easy.
Tell me you don't got about 15 white tees, goddamn
I don't
it.
have one white shirt. I don't have any white clothing, not even socks. Everything I own is black or gray or blue.
Wow. I bet you got a whole bunch of blue t-shirts then or black t-shirts then.
Mostly black, yeah. It
Yeah,
keeps me
okay,
warm.
yeah. No, that's just our tradition. We some t-shirt type of fellas. An American thing. We're no damn dashikis. I'm just giving you hell, man.
Beach says there's hidden meanings in the Egyptian steps, as they're the alphas. She can't speak for others, but they are founded on Egyptian history, even the Sphinx. Chad Murdoch
I
says,
agree with it. I just want to see some Egyptian women from Egypt, from Freetown, from Congo. I want them to see them go up against the freshman Greek letter sororities of America, the European or the white sororities. I want to see them step with them.
cheerleader competition.
I want,
Where they're throwing people
yeah,
30
like
feet in the air. That's skill, dude. I couldn't do that.
no, that's very much skill. Like I know I can't do it.
The human pyramid, holy shit.
They might build a pyramid.
We
They build
tried
a
that with the
pyramid.
kids. We do it with like 5 people, and it'd be a catastrophe after a minute. It's like, hold on, I'm almost up top. Fall.
I'm just trying to say I don't know no country in Africa. Like they always talk about our hood rats and our ratty women, which is still some of the sexiest shit in the world until you're getting cheated on by. But they don't talk about our Greek letter women. Yeah, they don't talk about our sorority women, man. Them other women is some motherfucking Amazonians, and the white women in their fraternities, man. Them some fucking Amazonian women. They put their claws in you. It's over with. Talking about you got you a college woman that's in a fraternity, that's in a sorority. Yeah, all of us think we the shit. Then like, yeah, I got me a sorority girl.
Well, yeah,
That's my hard pussy to get.
that's connections. Like I don't see why people bag on it so much. It's like you don't know what's going on if it's secret. A, B, you met the people. Did you get the vibe that they were drinking kids' blood or anything crazy? No, then they probably aren't. Like you got to take them for what you see out of them. They're all nice people. They try to be as respectful as possible. Like I, I'm not hating on the fraternities or any of it. Like
Now, I think this whole system is turned upside down. I ain't saying nothing about that. I'm just going against. Like, look, man, them African women can't do shit with these women over here. You got them.
yep.
These goddamn sorority women. Everybody want one of these sorority women. You think you the shit if you get you a goddamn cheerleader or a sorority woman.
You
Like
was
I'm about to
breaking
settle
that neck,
down.
breaking your neck to get a second look. Like, hey, where are you going? That's how it should be.
I swear.
Natural. Said nice posterior, and you
You know,
just
all
keep
these fucking
moving.
new African dances, all these fucking new weird ass African dances and shit, looking like Kermit the Frog and shit. I be like, man, just have some of these fraternities and sororities dance, man. That's all we need. Just some of these Greek letters dancing in the hip hop songs. We'll be happy. I'm tired of these African dances, man. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it, man. It's retarded. Shit, these motherfuckers out here. They made a new Crip Walk, the East Coast Crip Walk. That shit look like MC Hammer and shit, man. That shit just fucking some African ass nigga. Somebody Crip walking. That nigga start fucking typewriter and shit. I said, I'm
Is
done with
it
this
crip
shit, man.
walking? That's a crab walk. He's like
Yeah, real talk,
crabs with
man.
the Krabby Patty. Little sand crabs.
And I be looking on the YouTube and seeing all these little African countries and shit where all they girls be dancing. I be like, look, man, this is man, we pass hokey pokey over here. I don't know, man. It's just an invasion of immigrants, man. I'm tired of that shit, man. Then they always talk about our poor people, like, oh, the poor niggas and the poor hood rats. Take your ass to one of these colleges, then, nigga. Yeah. You know, I'll take any one of these. I'll take 15 of these college girls, any college in America, around the world, nigga, and I ain't gonna have to look at no other women in the world. Like, look, I'm good with the sororities.
Oh yeah, it's a
They gonna
go getter.
form you, I'll class you, and might beat your ass.
Like you're in a sorority, you're in a fraternity. Like, okay, what do you mean? I'm successful, and I saw other people that are successful, and I thought, hey, what better way than to be in the cool people club? Like that's just it's a no brainer. If you have the option to join a team that will benefit you, you'd have to be kind of foolish not to.
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I'll stay out of that. I'm just talking about the beautiful people that's from this land.
A lot of them are. Everybody's a member.
Huh?
I think everybody you like a member of something, even if you aren't. Just by basic belief systems. If you really looked at it, you probably align your values with 5 or 6 different groups without even knowing it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. I be seeing some stuff though, like this dude James Munder. I like his YouTube channel because he be exposing some stuff, and he showed how they be exiting funds out of America. Like, I'm a Moor, but I'm gonna have to like stop qualifying myself as a Moor the way I know it, because when you say you're a Moor, you give a spiritual arousal, okay, to the country Morocco. When you say The Egyptians was great. You giving a spiritual arousal to this corporation named Egypt. So all of the smart, wonderful people in America that go to these sororities and fraternities, they give their spiritual arousal, if that's the right words to put with it, to uh, Greece, which is a corporation. And that's how these countries stay afloat, just off our spiritual arousal. And now that there has to be something going on in the lands of Greece and with these colleges, because you see these lands are dying now because everybody's going against Europe. Don't nobody like the European way. So you see Europe dying and Africa is taking a rise in spiritual arousalness. It's because the people of America is all on this whole Barack Obama changing laws and all this shit. Though, but I mean, I'm just saying, if we could see what's going on though, if a lot of us get on the same spiritual arousal, we could do a lot just by talking, putting in little actions.
Yep. And it'll happen. The more people do start communicating, the more they'll see the patterns and they'll be like, okay, this kind of lie is the same thing throughout all these cultures. And then it doesn't matter what the culture is because the lie is the same. And that was kind of the whole point Bill Cooper was trying to get across. That's why he started the book that way. Beneath every mountain of lies is a grain of truth. And without that grain of truth, the mountain of lies would crumble. And that's what you had to search out, that grain of truth and pull it out, crumble that mountain of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think nothing that is black in America has over 2 grains of truth. Let me think. Let me make sure I say this right. Yeah, I can't say nothing. Anything that is attached to black or white, I don't think it has 2 grains of truth to it.
Just the outcomes. They programmed the culture with a lot of negativity and a lot of bad choices and guarantee them outcomes. You can do this and you can be a dealer and you can do this and you might become a star or you might go to jail, but it's 2 guaranteed outcomes.
What do you think Marxism is? Like, if a person is schooled in Marxism, a Marxist.
He's a communist, like the purest form of communists. One group controls
Okay.
everything, divides up the resources, tells people what jobs to work. They enforce equality by handicapping the best and brightest.
Okay, I can't say you wrong, but I look at that word communist as a communist. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Marxist I say is a communist and a that's where you get all forms of like communist um
Socialism.
capitalists. But they're taught words like it's semantics where if a person is from Nigeria and a person is from England, I would say the black guy from Africa and the white guy from Europe came to America in 1925. You feel what I'm saying? It's playing an illusion on our brain with words.
Yeah.
And if we can't get out this illusion of words, like when we keep putting little, like when we keep saying black and white, instead for putting us people over here to a nationality, we're in danger. These colleges that we go to that teach the Greek letter, they masters at Marxist. They're masters at semantics.
Oh yeah. And look how long since that started happening. What have they been doing? They've been started putting out movies and news showing how fraternities are just hives of date rape and drugging women and it's just an endless orgy and bestiality and just crazy shit. Like really? That's going on in college and nobody's stopping it? Come on. It just seems far fetched as fuck. Like, how can anybody fall for these news stories, documentary? Like, all of it's just bullshit. It's hilarious. You're telling me that the
So like,
Skull and Bones is killing people under the college and nobody knows about it? Everybody's in on it and it's cool. Come on.
how many churches you think surround the ghetto in every ghetto in America?
Shit, I'd say probably one or two every mile and a half.
There
There's
you go. So I say
a
about five
lot
or
of
six.
churches
Just
everywhere in
saying,
America.
every community in America that got over 100 black people in it, there's 5 or 6 churches. Now we know that all the church leaders are Marxists or semantics. Now, the people in the church and the people in the colleges are aligned and came around the same time when you get to these black colleges. So you see where I'm getting at though? Like,
Well, you got to buy into the system to keep your church. And if you want tax free, you have to agree to preach the government version of whatever your religion happens to be. If you want a Satan church and you want to be tax free, you had to sign that paperwork and they give you, here's your government approved version of your doctrine. Like Baptists, Catholics, all of them,
I
you have to
mean,
submit to the government's form in order to get that tax exemption status. And that's what it's all about. People are just trying to get money. They don't have any real heart towards some of these issues. They just don't want to work for that coin.
I've been in a relationship before. I thought a kid was mine before that wasn't.
Oh,
And after I found out, I thought I could be around a situation, but it seemed like nobody wanted me around, and shit got a little technical, so I had to move on. But why am I saying this bullshit? We've been black for 60 years, and we went nowhere but backwards. And every philosophy, every thought of blackness is horrible. You feel what I'm saying though? So I don't give a fuck what a person a part of. They gotta admit that, man. That whatever they belong to is sorry. Like I belong to the streets. That shit is sorry, but motherfuckers just gotta make a way of life, but it's still sorry. So whatever we belong to though, for us to get ahead, we gotta say, look, man, if a black guy was a cop, he'd be like, look, man, I do this shit for my job and some money in my family, man, but I don't give a fuck about this shit. But it seems like the black cops be loving that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it be like. Motherfuckers be loving this fucking system, man. That's the shit I'll be pissed off at. These motherfuckers be corny, man.
yeah, because it's just a power trip for them.
Like I can tell if you're doing it for some.
There's actually people out there, all they can get aroused by is power. I'm in control. I'm the shit. Like, whatever, dude. If that's what you need to get a boner at night, whatever. I'll let women arouse me. You want to get aroused by dominating a man with your handcuffs and your stick? Like, that's some Freudian shit there. But I digress.
And I don't knock people that's like 40 or less, if that's the right word to put. Because all this so-called devilish shit that's getting thrown at us Americans, it might take you time to mature. But what you said hit a point. There's motherfuckers in their 40s and 50s that still be on that shit. Like, man, you ain't matured a little bit, bro. I don't know. You still on that power shit and want all the attention and oh yeah, you right, man.
It's like Cat
I don't
Williams
know,
said,
man.
if you're 45 and you're still selling weed, you did something wrong. You should have at least moved up to cocaine or a hard drug.
Real talk, man. Real talk. The only thing I don't like with it though is us as a collective people, we are happy being the worker. Like as much as I love Trump, I hate when he be like, yeah, put them Americans back to work. What you mean, nigga? And I fuck with Trump. I fuck with that orange motherfucker. That's my dude. Like, what you mean though, man? Put us back to work, man. Show us how to get in Trump Nation, nigga, and get some business, nigga.
Yeah, show me how to get somebody to front me some money so I can flip a couple of houses and get paid.
Yeah.
Show me how to restore my credit when I'm working against a system that punishes you for paying your child support with bad credit. Like
Fact.
that shit burns me up, dude. It's like they still send me letters like, you got to pay us. Like, no shit. Y'all take the money right out of my check before I even get my money. Y'all already have your chunk. So why do you even bother sending me receipts or letters? Like, just, you got it. Fuck off. I ain't missed a payment in a year. Leave me alone.
My money went from a little funny to a little okay, and I'm going through my processes right now, but I done seen somebody, I witnessed them have a motherfucker back that child support shit up, man. Witnessed it. I'm saying, man, there's a way to, man, make the motherfuckers back the fuck up off you, man. Like, chill, man. That's best I could say.
Yeah, they might have been back in the day.
Hmm?
I was just back in the day, like, shit, 13
You
years
know,
ago now, that I had to sign under duress. But I ain't mind. Like, it's my kids. I don't mind paying. Like, my whole issue is just over visitation and custody. To me, the money's just money. Like, what else am I earning it for?
yeah, I feel you.
Exactly,
I
Beach.
feel
Can't adjust that credit when it comes to child support. All my bills get paid on time. I pay my rent on time, pay utilities on time. Everything I got, I pay in cash for the most part. But I think I have
I'm so
six more
glad.
years pay off, and then I'll be paid off with all the child support because I got to
It seemed
cover
like for the last
everything.
2 years, I've been stuck inside of a room on his computer, researching, doing this little weird shit. And let me make sure I say this right, man. I'm so glad I ain't give up on this shit though, because I think the stars and the moon and the sun is aligning
Yep.
for
Got
us.
light at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah, man. I see light at the end of this tunnel. Yeah, and it might not be everybody's light, but it's just.
It's
I think
real
when
light.
we start writing scripts in Latin, I think everything could change. And if we could just understand that you could
Did you
do
see that
whatever you
Samuel
want.
Jackson movie, 51st State?
Say that again, brother.
Did you see that movie with Samuel Jackson? It was 51st State.
Nah, what's it about?
He plays like this chemist that gets caught up in the 70s and arrested. So then after that, he goes underground, becomes a drug producer, and then he makes this ultimate drug, POS 51, and he's using it to finance himself and get out of the business once and for all. And like the whole movie, he's just selling this drug to different people and trying to make this $20 million deal. And then at the end, he gets his money and he goes over to Ireland and he's got the kill time and he goes to the land and he's like, this is the tartan of my former slave master. I'm here to reclaim his lands under this section or whatever. And like he states his little statement. And the fucking lord of the house is like, very well, sir. Would you like some tea? It's like he went over there and he had the right terminology and he had the right proof, so he was able to reclaim the land that he was supposed to earn from his indentured servitude. It's a pretty neat movie.
Yeah, and if us so-called Americans could fundamentally understand that everybody that comes over here goes through some type of immigration process. So that's saying half these people aren't eligible to be heirs of the land. So what I'm trying to say is, you right with the right terminology, but what I'm saying the right terminology is
Legalese.
in America, say you go to bumfuck Egypt, which is outside your city anywhere, or whatever you do. It's just whatever you do. When we start learning how to write these writs, it'll align you with the person that's bringing the claim against you. Boy, that's a and that's what like if you saying that man went over there to that country, he went over there to that country and he probably claimed the land that a bank owned or claimed the land that was vacant, you know what I'm saying? And that's what us American white and black people ain't doing is understanding we could claim whatever the fuck we want
Everybody should be
under the
buying
right.
up Detroit right now. You can get acres in Detroit for like $100 with the house and everything on it. You just got to buy it and reinvest in the infrastructure. And nobody's really trying to. So you're gonna end up having a bunch of foreign investors come in and make their own little colony.
Facts. But you can't buy land because when you buy land, you still pay taxes on it. So you can't own something. That's like buying a pair of shoes and
Well,
you got to pay a.
you're buying the rights to it, whatever limitations they have to that. A lot of times they won't give you the mineral rights because they know what's in the ground just as much as anybody else. Like, don't dig. You're gonna find the gold. There's gold all over America.
Now, what I'm saying is everybody's going on 1789 law. That's the American Constitution.
Right.
That was for 4 states. Cool. I'm not mad at that. I'm going before 1789. That was for the continent. And everybody was over here kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Like in common law, where whatever, like when you have debt notes or money, whenever you give that exchange, that currency, that's keeping you in public. So you can never own something like in the public. You have to get that over to the private. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah, fiat changed all that because there was no actual standard behind it.
so
Where
I'm
it
just
just,
getting fundamentally sound at this, where I'm starting to understand where I can look this up at law and the case laws. But say if a bank owns something, you could put the bills in your name, go in there for a while, and the bank is going to evict you, send an eviction notice. That's when you get in court with them and say, "Now please see my accuser." But that's like a writ of certificate or a writ of I forget the other one. It's not a writ of mandamus. The writ of
habeas
the writ
corpus.
of habeas corpus. There you go. Hey, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Let me see this motherfucker. Now, in between them times or through them times, you can get you a quick title, a a quit title, or a warranty title, and throw that shit into your trust. Now the land is you know what I'm saying? I'm just this is freestyling it. You feel what I'm saying? This is just off the head, and I ain't did it yet. That's why it's hypothetical. But I'm just like this shit. This is what everybody do, man. Everything in America is held in trust.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I'm just saying. I think that we're working the system wrong because we're not taught law. And in 1865, when they switched the law from Latin to English, the first thing is ignorance is no excuse. So when you in English, you allowed to be ignorant. But when you write your shit in Latin and write it in the writs, you're not allowed to be ignorant. You allowed to state your claim And if you understand what a fact is or something done, and prove that something was done or a fact, they have to make it right. Who cares if you are ignorant? Like you could be ignorant as long as you prove that fact. They gotta do like, hey, the Visigoth, or what they call it, the visor about to come out here and make this shit correct.
Yep.
So that's just I'm just glad that, my fault for breaking the conversation. I'm just glad that these last 2 years I'm really seeing where a lot of these mystics are coming from, talking about UCCs, and which we need, and talking about nationality, which we need, but
It's good to
they
have the
always
knowledge, but to over focus on it and obsess on it to the point where it's its own side issue and all you're doing is generating ad revenue for yourself, you're not really helping people. If you're giving them information that's going to help them, like you get up there and you explain, "Hey, I'm going to go file this at court, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how it turned out. It's a step by step process." Truth gets up there, he'll tell you how to run a business, what you need to file, what you got to do based on businesses he's ran. Like that's what people need. They need actual practical help. They try to go to churches and stuff like that, and most of the shit they just want to talk about the same 20 Bible verses over and over, day in and day out. Hey, focus on this. Like, nah, man, teach me how to do my taxes. Show me how to do deductions and shit that'll actually fly. Give me some real powerful knowledge. How do I lease a car and I only pay like $50 a month to drive a Porsche like this fool down the road who ain't no smarter than me, ain't even good looking, you know? If you can
see
tie it into all that,
that's
that's
what
great.
I'm gonna try. Before I proclaim to be some sort of type of teacher, I was gonna have my black nationalist, my Indian, and my Moorish school. And you're right, like most people don't care about that nationality stuff. They want to know how they could really pay their taxes, and you know what I'm saying, throw shit inside of a trust and get their receipts back. And if they paying a mortgage, how the fuck can they help that? A little weird shit. You right, motherfuckers want that money shit. Nobody's helping out. And that's what I think. That's what I be looking at though. A lot of shit like that. Like if you just get like 3 or 4 fictitious names,
Exactly. If you just put in some legwork, you can have streams of income. You can have little businesses, and you ain't got to bust your ass all the time. It's not hard. Instead, people want to endlessly talk about, well, if they just give me that 40 acres and a mule, or if I get a stimulus check, I'm gonna be a-okay. Like, why? If you ain't okay now, getting the lottery ticket ain't gonna make you even more okay. You're gonna still be the same financial failure. You're either successful and able to handle your money, or you're not. Like, and they don't teach it in America, and you're supposed to learn it. And it's sad when you don't, but fuck, people need to get out of their head. They ain't just going to be handing shit out to everybody, because the people that are working to make those handouts happen are kind of tired of everybody abusing the privilege. And that's really what it's all about in America right now. They try to put it off on this and that, but that's the real issues in America. This class warfare that started up for the last 2 decades. Like, fuck that noise, man. Work. Just like
I
Jamestown, man.
mean,
Work, you don't eat.
if like
If
say
you
if
were
any
actually
state,
you were an owned slave and your family was forced to come over here, by all means, you should get some kind of compensation. But that shouldn't be your only standout hope in life. Like, if you're basing your whole existence on, well, someday I'm going to get this, then you're no better off than somebody who's hoping to win the lottery and make it big, and that's how they're going to pay their bills someday. And then they'll get that car they want and get some nice clothes. Like, you can't bet on what
slaves ain't.
might be.
It's impossible for slaves to get something because, first off, them dumb. I can't say that. Just people that still sleep don't understand that the Africans sold the Africans. So
Yeah.
first off, you're gonna have to sell your own so-called brother in Africa. Then they sold them to 4 countries in Europe. So then you're gonna have to sue the 4 countries in Europe. Then you're gonna have to prove that America had anything to do with slavery, except for
And
accepting some
the Jews practiced it. It's in the Bible. They sold Joseph, their own brother, into slavery. So
Oh no. Oh, they
yeah, that's
sure
in
say
there.
bond.
Yeah, they sold him. Same thing. Same. They sold him into bondage. They threw him in a pit, and when the traders came through, they sold the brother. And then they went back and presented the dad with his ripped up jacket with the blood on it, and said, "Hey, some animals attacked him, and he died." But he didn't die. He was just sold into bondage, slavery, and he went to serve at the Pharaoh's place. And I started off at a taskmaster and worked his way up after being imprisoned. That old chest dog.
Yeah. I just don't recognize the slave stories everybody else do. Just so that's saying Joseph was black then. Shit.
Well, the
Man, I
tomb
just
that
don't.
they show for it shows that he was a light skinned, redheaded fellow.
Yeah, man. I just
There's no
when they
telling.
say bondage, I just look at that as a contract, man. I could be wrong though, man. I don't be just looking at slave shit like that, man. That shit just
Plus, too, they always tell you history's written by who? The winners. And they tell you what, we had how many conflicts between Muslims and everybody else. So if the darker people won, they would have changed history. And then everybody, like it would have been changed around back and forth over and over. You might not ever be able to fully piece it together correctly. So then you got
I
to
don't
move
think that
beyond it.
I be looking at lands, man. I don't be believing that shit when North Africa, South Europe, and Arabia, they don't have the minerals to do this shit that the people say they was doing, man.
Yeah. Or they'd still be
They just
there. Like you don't just move away from a resource ever.
yeah, like they don't got no trees to they don't
Yeah,
got metal.
exactly. Hey, this place is cool. They got running water and trees and animals and food to eat. But let's go to that desert over there. That looks really horrible to live in. Like who thinks that way?
Yeah, man, that shit crazy.
The only reason you're living in the desert because people are like, man, fuck y'all, get the hell out of here. We're gonna chase you till you don't come back. They kicked your ass out of the good part of the country and told y'all, get the hell over there, orphans. Y'all don't want to obey rules and act right, learn stuff, and be productive humans. Even the Native Americans had stories about that. They put the crazy people out in their own little section. They call it the leper colony. They put all them crazy people out and be like, here, y'all go live on the outskirts of town, do your thing, be crazy on your own. Could be both, Chad. The losers and the winners. The losers got to protect their pride, and the winners are just boasting. So the winners, I think, would take more credit, and the losers would decry. But we only have
But when we
recent history.
stories, man, ain't nobody. I don't know. I just there's a news story in town called the Indigenous People, where the Moors were. I don't know about Chad Indigenous people. They still some slave fucks, Indian ass slaves. But
Just
there's
go
some
back
stories
to
I heard.
Google. Google it. Like when did this movement begin? And they'll show you. Okay, like flat Earth, for instance. Like when did flat Earth start becoming a thing? You look back. It's like in 1965. Somebody wrote a book, and it started the controversy up. And then flat Earth became a thing. The
Noble Drew Ali started this shit in 1913 when they had
yeah,
to
but
change the
I
bank
mean, it wasn't really
and
widely
make every.
known. Like most people didn't hear about it mainstream until Wu Tang started talking about it. Like that's when I first heard about it.
I mean, that's how powerful Noble Drew Ali is in this movement because it makes us
Suppression.
know we from here.
Yep, that changes the whole ball game for all of them.
Yeah. and white people. White people can say, "Shut your ass up, nigga. Slavery fake." I don't even believe it in that shit. That's what I don't like about all these fucking black groups, man. Motherfuckers racist, man. They don't be talking about none of the Indians in their family and shit. I got this little sneak book. This is what you call a little sneak book, where I exaggerated history, son. Talking about Nat Turner,
Yeah.
how the so-called Indians gave Nat Turner a whole bunch of guns, and he helped the Indians in the war, and how Harriet Tubman. I don't even want to tell my little secrets.
She was running a real train.
Huh?
I always thought it was she was running a real train, or it was a real subway system. They rediscovered the old
It
subway.
was. It was. It
And that's
was
where
where
the
the
whole,
fucking. It's the cave
you know,
system.
you know how they teach you the march left, 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 right, left. I think that was like the secret. There was a secret way to get somewhere with that old system, and you had to make certain switches on the tracks to get there, and that's how they knew it.
Yeah,
Speculative history, I'll admit.
facts.
So we need more of though. Like it's easy to go over books and shit, but they're only going to get you so far. People need to start making the logical leaps and actually connecting all the dots instead of just taking it for because the people that are telling you how the dots connect now all got an agenda. And it's to keep you from getting as much shit as they got. Damn. Beach said the streets were stoned with the defeated races. They put the faces on the street so they could walk on them as a sign of disrespect. Yowza. If anybody ever defeats me, don't put my face on the street to step on it. Just spit on me and bury me.
When you look at every city in America, this shit is so beautiful. Can you hear me?
Hmm.
Okay, I will make sure down because my phone's still on 1%. That motherfucker holding on. But but all of our streets before the 1900s, they was brick streets. All of our streets, all made brick by motherfucking brick.
Yep. And
And
they're
I
still
just,
leveled to this day.
huh?
A lot of them are still good and usable to this day.
Facts, facts, facts. Yeah,
I
that
think
shit.
that's why they push the Salem witchcraft so much. Because if you go to Salem, there's a lot of old architecture and a lot of the old street work still there. Same with New Hampshire. Like the old shit's still there. They just don't publicize it.
Yeah, I swear to God, there's a couple states when I be googling on the Google map. Yeah, you right, like New Hampshire and Vermont. They be having some sick shit in it. I just ain't did it in a while.
Shit, you could drive there. You're close by. Just hop on a Greyhound. Like, here I am.
And I'm quite a ways from there.
What's up, Vermont?
I know this summer I'm gonna map out this motherfucking this horseshoe, this horse. Again, I did it like 3 years ago on my other channel, Root Words. But this city I'm at is a horse, and it's one eighth of Ohio. Really 1/6 of Ohio.
Damn.
it's yeah, it's some shit that's just you can't believe. Just
See, I went to Zane, and I went to Chili Coast, then I went to
huh?
Cincinnati, and wherever the Anchor Hockey and Glass plant is, I went there too. I've only been like 5 or 6 places in Ohio, so I was only out there for like 6 weeks.
When I
But
look
it,
at this history in Ohio, we have some sick history, but people forget that Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio was one like country, if you could say it right,
territory.
territory, yeah. And parts of Pennsylvania,
Penn's Woods.
huh?
Penn's Woods.
Wow, you know about that?
Yeah, I
No
still talk
way,
about him as a wee lad.
no way. I heard of them fairy tales. I heard it like I heard of it, but I ain't really. They talking about Penn's Woods was. Let me make sure I say this right. It was the last jungle in America or some shit.
Yeah,
If that's the right way to it.
that's what inspired the Carnegie guy to make Central Park. The old photos of Penn's Woods. It's just like a giant preserve, like a game preserve,
Or what?
like giant game preserves.
What you
Like
mean?
for after the deluge destroyed a lot of the people on the earth. Like this was just the king's giant game preserve across the sea. You come over here and it's just like, everything's game and it's all wild and giant. It was kind of a secret territory for a while. Got brother Ra up in the room. What's up, Ra?
Peace, bro. Peace to everybody. What's going on?
Peace and life. Peace and life.
Definitely.
And I think Penn Woods. Cause okay, Pittsburgh is where the Triple Rivers split at. I don't know. I'm gonna humble myself because I just heard of it a couple times.
Let
Like it
you
was a
find the
great
book on it.
war.
We have to research it. We can build on it. We'll research it.
Huh?
We have to research it and do a build. The origins, Penn's Woods.
No, I looked at it a couple times, but I just forget. You know what I'm saying? It was so long ago. This person they told me probably they were just like, yeah. Cause there's one college lady when I was like 24. We were just young and wild, and I was knocking her down. She was giving me hella info, but I was just young. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I remember her telling me is she showed me this one picture of a horse, and she said, just never forget this horse. And I said, wow, I remember that shit at 40. So I said, no way. I said, no way. I fucked her out the truth, my nigga. Oh shit, that shit was wild. It's funny. Yeah. These motherfuckers be wanting to tell you, boy, but they ain't about to tell you shit.
They still do the horse roundups on Assateague and Chincoteague. I think that's pretty cool. Wow. Thank you, Beach. I like to keep it peaceful. Even when you're aggressive, you can still be aggressively at peace.
I got a question to the panel. If
Go for
anybody
it.
want to answer, um, it's gonna be a series, but I'm gonna start with one. Do we think that there is a remote or grid uh, nation or people outside of us here in the United States?
Like a secret controlling faction.
Nah, ain't no secret. Just people that live that choose to live off grid, that choose not to live like we live in society. Do we think that you have people like that here in society? I mean, in the United States.
Yeah, they have them all over. Sometimes they're religious groups. Sometimes they're cults. Like if you got a bunch of money and you want to have your own little theories, like they'll totally allow you to do that in America. You just buy up your land, and as long as you're staying within the normal laws of society, they don't usually stop you.
But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that uh don't take part in society, like they don't care. Not so much they don't care, but they don't go by the rules like society go by. It's like they're off grade. These people they just out outside of our range, our limit, our cities, and they're just outside of that, living their own life. Do you think it's like that? It's not like where they have some type of they might have some type of treaty with the government or whatever to leave them in peace or whatever. But what I'm saying is that it's just that they don't really, what I'm saying, people that don't really
Well,
care
yeah, they
about
have
like
to.
what's going on. Like,
If you stop all the criminals, then you no longer need policemen because there's no crime. So they kind of have to allow some of it, some of the chaos to happen in order to have a job and have something to do. Like if they don't let some people slide through the cracks and keep on keeping on, then there's nothing for them to do, you know?
no, the question I'm asking is that like today, like we live a certain way, a certain lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That we call civilized. You know what I'm saying? That
Hmm.
we go to work, we do certain things. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying, do you think that there is people here in the United States that they don't not they don't they wouldn't be considered to be civilized according to our society because they live off grid basically. They provide themselves like whatever they need, food,
Oh yeah,
clothing, shelter. I'm saying, do you think it's possible there is people that live that way here in the United States?
totally. If you look into the Appalachian Hills, there's still like indigenous people that are cut off. They're so far up in the mountains, they're cut off from everybody. Same way when you go into South America, there's still a lot of mountain tribes that haven't been contacted by anybody.
All
I
right, so
mean,
now
it's probably not as commonplace as it used to be, but there's a lot of treaties that prevent governments from going in. Like that one island, if you try to even get to their shore, they'll kill you.
is it here in the United States? But I'm more talking about like in the United States because I know when we're talking about the United States, we're kind of more talking about the cities and the you know what I'm saying and where people live at. You know what I'm saying? There is another land that's just like free land. You know what I'm saying? That is still part of the state, but it's just that the land is not civilized yet because you don't have no people or anything there. You know what I'm saying? Just wild animals like deer, like and other animals that's here in the United
Yeah,
States.
that's like the national park system. There's all kinds of lands where you're not allowed to build and you're not allowed to live. And yeah, it's flourish. It's just that's where the buffalo are. It's where all the animals are.
Yeah, so you don't think there is people that live off grid beyond these lands
Oh, they
or in
totally
these
do.
lands?
There's people I know people that live in the national park up here at Los Padres. Like the Indians go around if they get chased off whatever farm they're staying on, they just go right into the national park and live off the land.
So let me say that though. So if we know that there is people that live off grid, like right, that live outside of our society, and we over here in the society, and we saying that we don't know, like we don't know what's happening to us. We don't know our history. Like we don't know who we are and where we're from. Why don't we go to these people that not know who they are, that's functioning like based on themselves, like independently, because they supposed to be our ancestors, right? Because they've been here just like us. It's just that we civilized, right, or programmed, right?
Yeah, we're indoctrinated and conditioned to follow society's rules, but only because centuries of people trying out different things that didn't work. You know, it's like a refinement. We got to the point where it was really refined and society was at its pinnacle, and then from there it just kind of fell off.
Yeah.
Everybody got spoiled and lazy on it. We had the Industrial Revolution, the machines started doing all the work. Suddenly, you didn't have to be spending 2 weeks at a time to make a cart. You could have your cart made in 4 hours. You got power tools and
Mm.
technology. It just killed man's creativity. It took away his passion and his drive more and more. And now you just got people to sit around typing on a keyboard, and that's a job. Like, that ain't a job. That ain't work. Like, you're a secretary, dude. And even if you're a woman, it's still, you're just typing. Like, that ain't work. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Like, carry some wood up a damn hill. Go chop down a tree and cut it all up by yourself and haul that to the truck and haul it off. Like, that's work. And that's where all the humans need to be back to be actually taking care of the planet the way we're designed. We're supposed to be the ultimate gardeners, the ultimate animal husbandry experts, water purification, soil purification.
I think we all do. I think we're just being distracted. That's kind of why we want to go back to that. It's because it's in our DNA, you know?
Well, yeah, we're coming full circle to the point where we won't need the technology anymore because we realize that all it did was take away our enjoyment of our surroundings.
Hey, I agree. I agree with that.
Because then they don't have power, you know. If there's shortages, oh, we can help out your shortage, yeah. So you still get power. That's bullshit. You're still manipulating. Earth has abundance, and everybody should be able to freely take part in that. If you're telling me we waste 40 million pounds of food a year wasted, then that means we could feed everybody in the world, period. Stop
Hmm.
wasting, you know.
Yeah. There shouldn't be no poverty. Shouldn't be no people, starving. You're right.
Because that's what's important. I just, you could argue all day long, but why argue when we could solve things? And that's all it takes. Like, you know, here's my issue, here's the solution to it. How can we reach from A to B?
Yeah,
We got
I
to
wish
start.
it was like that, but unfortunately, that's not what we see because I don't think the problem is not knowing what to do. I don't think that's what the problem is. I think the problem is certain people not want you to do it. I think that's where the problem is coming from.
Yeah, and that's like the rub of it. The only way it will work is to get those people to at least open their mind enough to see you've got the belief in it. All they need is the possibility and hope. And that spark is enough to make it become actuality. That's why they've tried so hard to dumb everybody down. I mean, I heard that guy last night on your show. I forget his name, but he was talking about there's no compass and you can't trust a compass. Like, what are you talking about, dude? It's the magnetic poles of Earth. The compass always points to north. That's why it's used for navigation. It's not a arbitrary imaginary thing. It's real science. And he's just like, well, imagine east and west wrap around in this shape. Like, no, you can't do that. Like that, you can't just argue imagination. That's goddamn ludicrous. If
Well,
you
I
want to
was
argue
really,
imagination, oh, okay, I'm going to say red's blue and balloons are food. You know, like
I
then where
wasn't
does it
really,
end?
I wasn't really, I didn't really hear the part that he was talking about the compass. But as far as what he was saying and how he was describing with the numbers, he was right. But the only thing is, he was that uh, he just put it all in one. Kind of like when when you're supposed to have like, you got two feet, right? You're supposed to have two shoes, right? Pair of shoes, right?
Right.
But you're trying to put like your 2 feet in one shoes, you know what I'm saying? And that's what he was doing basically. But as far as, you know what I'm saying, as breaking it down, I feel like it was, you know what I'm saying, it was right, but I didn't really catch the part that, you know what I'm saying, what he was talking about.
He
I
had a lot of
know I see the
synopsis to
comment.
read.
I know he was going there. I just wasn't really paying attention to what he was saying because I
Yeah,
was trying to.
you got to go back and listen to what he was saying. And you'll be like, oh my God, this guy was talking some. I mean, yeah, it makes sense if you're imagining all the variables, but well, anything can.
Right.
Right on, Chuck.
Uh,
Figured it out. I
yeah, but
don't curse people. I'm a good guy.
of course, of course. Uh that's why to me, either way, right? Um, the government didn't just come, right, and pull out that card out of nowhere, right, and say, "Hey, man, we're gonna come, we're gonna call ourselves uh one kind, and we're gonna call them one kind, and we're gonna cause division." To me, I don't look at it like that. I don't ever look at, I don't feel like there is anything that man can do that hasn't been done by nature. I just feel like men just copy nature, you know, and his own perspective, and pull that perspective, you know, on upon everybody, and trying to get everybody confused because everybody not knowing it's just one piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? And everybody trying to look at it as the whole picture. That, but to bring it back, I know that as far as melanated people, not all melanated people is good people, you know. You have bad motherfuckers between us. But as far as mulattoes or all other races, it's the same way I look at it. Like it's bad people in them and it's good people in them also. So that's why I
Exactly.
said that you have to test the spirit. Like even in the Bible, I know a lot of motherfuckers don't really agree with the Bible, but even in the Bible, you know, it says you have to test the spirit. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know the verse, like, cause like I said, I don't even myself, I don't really go by that, but I just know that, you know, if
Why
in
not?
the
I
Bible
mean,
and
if it's
certain
good, it's
people that
good.
I'll
That's what
say that
you.
again.
If the Bible has something good and it's a factual positive thing, why dismiss it just because of bias? Like
Right,
if
right.
the
That's why I say
Quran
I
has
don't really
something
go.
good
I
and
didn't
it's
say I'm
you
not.
know,
I don't completely like don't go. You know, I say I don't really go. So I don't take everything for face value. Of course, I'm gonna read between the lines. That's how I go with everything, unless it's coming from me. You know what I'm
I look
saying?
at it like
Or
Rick
unless it's,
James.
or
Rick
unless I could
James did
tell.
crack and Rick James beat women, but it doesn't mean Super Freak wasn't a good song, you know?
Yeah,
You can have some bad and some good, but if it's overall good, you just
yeah.
got to take the good out of it and run with it. Okay, Beach. I ain't going for too much longer. I'm gonna flash in a little while soon. I'll call it at 4 o'clock. That way I got enough sleep before. Good thinking. But yeah, like it's totally like you see your ideas in nature, and that's what inspires you to try to mimic it, so you can be like God and be like the designer. And
Yeah.
it's when you
So
step away from it and you start trying to fit into the construct and the concepts that they impose on you. That's when you fall out, and that's why you get depressed because you're like, I can't make this work. If you read the Unabomber Manifesto, it fully describes the whole psychological warfare, every strategy they've used on people, how they do it, how they made division from day one, how they broke apart the human family unit, how they've turned love into a lust. Like all of it's explained. That guy had a lot of good shit in his paperwork before he went crazy and started blowing people up.
mm,
If he even did that, it might just be a frame up job because that dude spit out some shit and it was real.
yeah. But to kind of like since you kind of brought it up, like what we was talking about like how the earth is a do what, you know, meaning that the earth is not just they want us to believe that uh we basically the earth is in the center of the universe. It is in the center of the universe. But the thing about it is a do what that's in the center of the universe. Is not just one thing. I mean, again, is it is one thing. But what I'm saying is that it is divided basically. You know what I'm saying? It is basically kind of like the Trinity. You know what I'm saying? It's like is one thing that is like these three things that make up one thing basically. You know what I'm saying? So the earth, what we was talking about was breaking down with the numbers, is like is the earth is basically is two sides. Like even bro Sanchez was doing had the live, like I think it was earlier, or yeah, earlier he had a live. They was talking about the North Pole, how there is land, and you got what I'm saying, and how he even brought up the Mercator's map, where you got the four pieces with where you have the four land surrounding where you have the North Pole in the middle, you know. And but what we was talking about is basically this each side, on each side of the North Pole you got two pieces of land, and each each of the two pieces of land is the beginning, you know what I'm saying, of or is the beginning basically of the land of where we at right now. I mean I mean basically the two lands, which one would be the pygmies, and the other one I forgot what it is. You know what I'm saying? Would be the beginning of our Earth. You know what I'm saying? And the other two sides on the other side of the North Pole will be the beginning of the other side of the Earth. You know what I'm saying? Because the Earth, how we was
Mhm.
talking about it is a flat plane. You know what I'm saying? But it's divided in sections, and we was kind of we was talking about how there is people that come from beyond the North Pole and that's invaded over here. You know what I'm saying? And they've been doing like fucked up shit to us, and we know like what they've been doing, and they know what they've been doing, and we said that when once we find out that all right, we didn't create the beast basically because we felt like for what's been going on with us, right? Um, we felt like the reason why we take this shit is because history have its way of telling us, you know what I'm saying, or programming us to think that we the one that created the beast, meaning that you know what I'm saying, it, it, uh, how uh how the earth basically start a certain way, you know what I'm saying? It has to evolve. You know what I'm saying? But when we break it down with the numbers, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't like that. It didn't create like in no way where the creation had to evolve. You know what I'm saying? Everything created and you know what I'm saying at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And we was trying to make basically, like I said, show how, you know what I'm saying, certain people come from, you know what I'm saying, different side, you know what I'm saying, and invaded our shit, you know what I'm saying, and they make us believe that, you know what I'm saying, we the one that created them and shit like that. And and we say that when we come to a conclusion that nah, that's not us, that we didn't create them, they got their home, you know what I'm saying, they just in our home. So the one that's wanna keep oppressing us, keep this shit going, they gotta go home. But the good one that just wanna be here because they love it and they wanna enjoy it, they just gonna be here. And that's how the test and the spirit have come into play.
Yeah, if they ain't got a good spirit, they don't have a home. Nobody's gonna want them anywhere. Who the hell wants an asshole? You know? They're gonna be like, man, get out of here. Go back to your side of the plane or whatever. Like, I don't know what shape the shit is.
Yeah.
It just seems strange to me that the whole history of humanity they all believed one way, and then nope, this other guy that they killed for his belief, and it stayed like a dark secret. That's what everybody ran with for 500 years. So yeah, 14,000 years of recorded history where it was just a flat plane, and then 500 years where it's this magic ball that spins and none of the water falls off and manages. Moon makes tides, But even though the moon's always there, the Atlantic Ocean can be flat as glass. It's so powerful it can do this and do that. But how come there's clouds? The moon should make the clouds all. It should always be covered by clouds because gravity's causing the water molecules to move.
Mm-hmm.
Chad will be a-okay. I agree.
But Rahu is coming back though. Rahu is coming back, so eventually shit had to set back into place how it originally go. Out. But in time like this, I see a lot of people is kind of panicking, you know. But in
But
time
check
like
this out.
this, I feel like it's time like this that we was waiting for, or I was waiting for, and I feel like it's time like this that the ancestors prophets to be, you know.
Well, if you're the creator of all this, right? Can anything ever be out of your control?
Right.
If you created it, you're in control of it. All of it's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Once you understand that, it's so much easier. Like everything you do is God's will. You can't not do God's will. To not do God's will would be foolish.
Mhm.
Doing
I
not
mean,
God's will.
it's not even to not do it. It's like to think you to think you have the power not to do it is foolish because you know, bro. Like that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? To think you have the power not to do it is to me. That's why I think it's foolish because like you're gonna do God's work regardless, bro.
It's
Like
like giving my kid a choice. I can go, okay, do you want to pick up your toys now or pick them up later? He might think he has a choice, but in reality, I know he's going to pick his toys up because I told him to, you know?
that part, that's what I'm talking.
Like, that's how I see God the same way. It's like, I'm going to do this, and you can think this, and you can think that, and you can do your own thing, but eventually you're going to come to see that the way that life's leading you is leading you that way for a reason. Like, and everybody's starting to see that's why all their constructs are falling apart. Like it can't hold water anymore. Everybody's like, all you guys is nonsense and your theories, and it only creates division, and that tests the spirit of that. The fruit of that tree is what? Division. If something divides and causes chaos, then it's not good and holy by definition. And people are waking up to it, and they can almost, whatever. Good. Just get clean, get pure, start reading pure information, deal with pure-minded people that aren't out there to argue you and bash on you. And it's fine not to agree with other religions, but don't bash them. Like, if you don't believe in Islam and the Quran, don't bash it. If you don't believe in Jesus, great, but don't bash it. Because the same level of care and pride and heart you've put into what you believe in, that's what everybody puts into what they believe in. And like the more we learn to respect those differences and understand it from that point of view, like I could be that guy. I could be the pygmy. I could be the slave. I could be the master. I could have been any one of those. It's just random choice of God and life that puts you where you are. And all you can do is make the best of it and try to make everyone around you happy and comfortable as you can be until whatever happens next happens. Dude, the media kills me too, Kirk. I cannot stand the media. If you follow my comment trail, I've subscribed to as many local news stations as I can. Call them all out on that bullshit.
But what's up with
Open
the
numbers, everything.
what's up with YouTube like not letting you know when people is subscribed to is live, bro? Like right now, I feel like YouTube just picking and choose who they want to let you know that's live. Like you be going on YouTube and search, you be like, yo, damn, this nigga was live for like 2 hours. Like how the fuck I didn't know that?
Yeah, I missed drop show like that the other night. Like I was home for 6 hours of the show, and I didn't know about it till afterwards. You have to prioritize your subscriptions on the desktop, like on your computer. When
I
you're
mean,
looking for
once you subscribe to somebody and you turn the bell on, whenever that person go live or do anything, you're supposed to know, bro.
it should, but it prioritizes it based on how many subscriptions you have. So like if you're subscribed to 100 people, it's going to prioritize it by what you watch the most. So, like, if you're always watching Smokers Lounge, it's always going to put that at the top of your notifications.
Now I
If you,
understand that part being at the top, but I'm not talking about being at the top though. I'm talking about when they come live. So I understand that because you got it's not like all of them going to come live at the same time to say, all right, you're going to let me know this person is live first, then all right, the next one is live, then all right, the next one is live. Is the fact that it be coming at different time or if sometimes even different days. But what I'm
yeah,
saying is
it'll
that
show up the day later, and you're like,
yeah,
how did I miss that? Like, I was looking for something to watch.
nah, I don't even be getting it up at all. Like it's just that it just don't show up. Like it's when I even like bro Sanchez, like you or like he pick and choose to let me know when they wanna send me a notification and let me know you're live. You know what I'm saying? But before you know what I'm saying, before the whole COVID shit, like I get all my notification like, I didn't miss a show. You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody go live or somebody puts a video or anything, I get that shit right away. But now since that shit been going on, bro,
They might
like
just be working on it less if they're working from home. They don't have access to the servers as much to tweak it. There's no telling. It's a really big network if you think about what YouTube does.
and I got three phones, bro. I got three phones and a laptop. And I you know what I'm saying? So I got three phones and a laptop. There's no way that I can't get a notification on one of them. That's four. That's
It's
four
true. I agree with
devices.
you.
But I don't know, like I said, man, they do whatever the fuck they wanna do. Like it's their shit. They gonna do whatever they wanna do regardless. Yeah, they looking at it like that. Hey man, I'm gonna do this. Like you're gonna, I already know you're gonna complain, and I'm gonna just stand on my square, and y'all gonna follow up after that, right?
They're
And
like, you're getting it free, so just enjoy it. That's how I think of it. like that's a cool service they do. They're letting us be our own little TV stars and spit out whatever we want. They don't censor me, so it's like I don't complain too much about it. Yeah, it's got glitches, but come on, you got millions of people making their own TV shows and chit chatting 10 hours. Like,
shout
that's a
out
lot
to
of
Dread,
time.
man. My bad for cutting you off, but shout out to Dread for creating his own shit, and shout
Oh
out to
yeah,
YouTube.
everybody should be creating the content. Get your mind stretching,
That's
exercise.
what we need to start doing. And we need to stop complaining about like what they're doing in their own system and start like coming together and create our own things.
That's what we're doing, man. We're doing it now. We're showing them people can get together and chit chat, discuss, say whatever they want. There ain't got to be no division. There ain't got to be no anger. It can all just be nice and kosher the way it's designed to be. I mean, if you'd have tried to go back to like 1940 and start screaming at people and having an argument like that, somebody would have got up and bitch slapped you and said, "Sit down, motherfucker." And everybody in the room would have looked at you like, "Yeah, bitch, sit down," and that would have been the end of it. They didn't take that nonsense back then. But those days are over with. Now people should be fully educated to the point like a grown up where you can just be like, "Hey man, you're just hurting people's feelings. If you want to get your point across and express yourself, just come at us with peacefulness and respect, and you'll get 10,000 times the results you were expecting." Yep, the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Chad's dropping them gems in chat. Arbitrary gems. But I digress. Woohoo! Wish it wasn't so easy. But I do got to go to bed. I got work tomorrow. So I'll definitely be looking for y'all after work and before I go to work. Worse than that, Chad, usually your own people sell you out to the slaughter. And anybody that doesn't believe it, just look at the Jews in World War II. They sold their own people out based on money. They wanted to have the rich people stay rich, so they They pointed the finger at all the poor people. Said they're the
Let,
bad
let,
ones.
all right, let's talk about the world wars, right? One and two. What do we think was the root of them, and where they take place? What part of the land they take place?
Well, World War One supposedly started because they assassinated Archduke Ferdinand, I think, and that set off some kind of power scramble for the throne of Austria. And World War Two started because they wanted the whole world got together and said Germany's going to take the blame and pay for World War One and pay all the other countries. So when they slapped that huge fine onto Germany, it destroyed their economy, and people literally had to go to the store with a wheelbarrow full of money to buy a loaf of bread. And so Hitler came up and he's like, yo, fuck this. Everybody participated in that war. Why should we be the ones having to pay and suffer and starve to death while everyone else is rich because of the war, you know? And then once they got him addicted to meth, then it all changed into genocide and evil and all the bad shit. But
Hold on, let me get this straight. Hold on, nah.
Hitler actually started off, he modeled his ideas based on Abraham Lincoln and Abraham Lincoln's presidency. We had the Secret Service in America before Hitler had his SS, Secret Service. Like,
Oh no, I was too far behind. I mean to talk about the civil rights. I was
the
too.
history of it, it's debatable because, as I said, like if you win the war, you're gonna be like, yeah, we got shot here, but we conquered. Like it's just like a football team. If you win the Super Bowl, do people really think about the 4 games you lost that season? Or are they thinking about your Super Bowl ring?
Mm.
You know, it doesn't matter how many times you didn't win the championship. It matters when you win it. So I think a lot of history is the same way. Like
I need to
people,
study.
why did they go
I need
to
to do research about the wars. I mean the world wars. You know, I got caught up so much in the and all the wars and then all the
You should get the Time Life series. They have Time Life books on World War One and World War Two, and they're exhaustive. It's like an encyclopedia of everything that happened. There's thousands and thousands of photographs you probably never seen. Like I had the World War Two series, and that shit was eye opening. Like there is so much that they don't teach you in school, like Unit 731 and all the different tortures and just ugh, bad, evil people.
yeah. Because I heard World War One. We the United States didn't even wasn't even in the war like that.
Yeah, we weren't. We were totally removed from it until they sank one of our ships, and that was the god to pull us in. It was like, well, we didn't need to be there. What balance? You know, what does it do for us? We don't have to get anything from Europe if we don't want to. We can grow everything here, animals and food. Like, what do they really have to offer us? The only thing they could have offered us was tech or workers, or there's just a lot of it. It doesn't. There's no sense to it. Like when they say, okay, we took all these people from this country and shipped them across the ocean, like, why? You could find desperate people if you walk 2 miles down the road, anywhere you're at in any country. Anywhere you go, you're going to find some poor, desperate people that just haven't fit into the structure and they can't break out of the natural cycle into the construct of society. So just, it seems more
So you're
feasible that
saying
it seems more logical that you would take a financial advantage over somebody and then have them working for you to pay off that debt versus I'm going to go kidnap somebody and then expect them to stay put. Like
Well, I
You
don't think the
can't work the
kidnapping. I
same.
don't think the kidnapping happened though. You see,
No, they paid for him. Like they say they paid for him, and the
you
other
see
people agreed.
the thing is, bro, people. I studied the thing, the pattern. You know, the thing is, bro, when in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? In the beginning, when the first people, very first people who came in the beginning, it's all started in from Asia, bro. You know, it started from Asia, drive towards like the Middle East, towards Africa, to throughout the whole Africa, was what so-called Africa. That's how Africa got divided. You know what I'm saying? Into all these whatever they got divided, but it was one mainland. You know what I'm saying? That was ran by one group of one people. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's a lot of time they're trying to say your Africa was called uh Ethiopia at one point, or it was called Sudan at one point, or it was called all these ancient name at one point.
Alkebulan,
Say that again.
Alkebulan.
Yeah, so it
That was
was
the
it
ancient
was
name.
it was one. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It was no divided land. You know what I'm saying? It was all one land. You know what I'm saying? But when the first people came now, you know what I'm saying? And they as they driving through the whole shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Through the whole Asia, going towards Africa, and that's how shit starting to get fucked up and get divided. You know what I'm saying? And that's when now the war started. Now it wasn't no land now. So now, bro, now I mean now we're not really one people now, bro. So if I go to war with you, you know what I'm saying? And
Exactly. They stepped
whoever
in and they put their
whoever is part of
constructs
that,
in, and that's what the
whoever we
division is.
catch,
It's still one land and it's still one people. It's only a state of mind that keeps them separate.
yeah, that keeps us separate. So that's why the people that you know what I'm saying, that lost the war, that lost in the war, you know what I'm saying, they could have been killed, but they got sold. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I like I said, I wasn't back there. I wasn't there back then. You know what I'm saying? To say, you know what I'm saying? Or I didn't
We
trace
got
my
to trust
I didn't
the
trace my
oral
family.
history, and
I didn't trace my family back to the BC in you know what I'm saying, in AD time. You know what I'm saying? When this shit was
even
happening.
if it was the worst case scenario and you did come out of slavery, in my mind, it's like, well, are you a slave now? You
Right.
know, then be happy. Like, help end it for everybody. Like, if
No, but either
someone was a
I
slave,
mean
it's
I
like,
don't really look at it like that. I mean I would still be accountable, meaning that I'm gonna tell the truth, because that's the only thing I could do is tell the truth. Right now, at this point, right now, the only thing we can do right now is be honest. You know what I'm saying? And tell it, and so that's gonna bring us together. But as long as we're gonna try to blame or make one be accountable or blame another one, it ain't nothing gonna work because that shit already happened, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We in the
well,
now.
we should start with the government because they're the biggest holder of slaves still. They make prisoners slaves. That's the 13th Amendment. They outlawed slavery for private citizens, but the government retained the right to keep and put slaves to work. And it's called prisoners. And they, like most of the army gear, is made by prison labor. A lot of people don't know that 86% of the military gear is made by
And that's
prison labor.
And one thing too, bro. One thing that people don't know, like when, like, if y'all pull up the how you say his name, Mercator's map. He's Mercator, right? That's how you say his name, Mercator. If the you pull out that map, right, you're going to see, like I said, bro, it's two pieces of land on each side of the North Pole, bro, and I'm saying one side is what that's the beginning of each land, bro. So if somebody is coming from the North Pole, like they're not only coming on one side, so they're not only going coming towards so-called Asia and Africa, or so called Europe and over here in America, they're gonna come on both sides because it's two land right there. It's two entrance right there.
Have you ever looked at the ancient Buddhist map?
Nah.
You should look at that one. It shows a lot more land than
Mm.
what our map shows. Like that one, it's got at least 38 continents, I think, on it. See, that's the way I think. If it's large, it has to be super, super large in order for water to self-level the way it does on an ocean-sized environment. Or be a dimple. If it's a ball, it would have to be in the dimple of that ball in order for the water to level. But then you still got to compensate for the physical motion of spinning, which makes no fucking sense because you would get pulled out of orbit by passing localized gravity, such as other planets that are larger. But I digress. I don't know where I was going with that. Fucking space, man. Shit,
Yeah,
I
that's
got.
bullshit.
Nah, we're still here, Chad. But I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. I gotta hit the rack and get ready for work in the morning. But it's definitely a great build. We'll get back to it tomorrow night. I'll find you
Hey,
guys.
bro. I appreciate you, bro, for letting me. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're always welcome, man. Anybody's always welcome. I love talking to everybody. People might get the wrong idea. I'm not out to destroy anybody or discredit them. I'm
Nah, I
just.
already know.
I just want everybody to be the sharpest they can be. You know, like watching you handle that guy on your show last night. That was a
Mhm.
major improvement. You're like, bro, let me speak, and he finally backed down. He's like, good job.
But yeah, I try, cause I felt like, man, we all got a piece to this shit, If I'm trying to like it's like we playing cards, right? When we playing cards, this is a deck of cards, right? Everybody take a part, like so we all got let's say dominoes, right? We playing dominoes is 28 piece, right? So each one everybody got seven. So what I'm doing is like I'm here, I'm like, hey bro, I got this piece, I got this piece, and I'm trying to tell you what I got, but you over here, you like, nah, bro, I got this, I got that. I'm like, I bet. So I'm gonna listen, you know. So I'll know what you got in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So I know what to play. You know,
Not
and
only
because
that, it's also a good analogy for the Unity because it doesn't matter what game or card you're trying to play. You got to have those four different kinds of cards to make shit happen. You need your diamond, you need your club, you need the spade, you need the hearts.
you feel me. So I look at it like that, bro. We playing a game together, called life. So I'm trying to tell you my cards. If you don't want to hear my cards, you the one that's not gonna know what to play. But since you want to tell me, of course I want to listen because I want to know what to play next. You know, that's how I look at it. So I'm gonna listen, but at the same time, I'm not trying to tell you, yo, play this because I know after you play this, because everybody that know how to play dominoes, if you know how to play, if you could tell what the nigga gonna play, and because you already getting ready to play to play the next piece after, so you could read the nigga hand and say, he gonna come after, he gonna come with that, so I'm gonna come with that, So that's how we're trying to do. We trying to do that the same thing with life and with knowledge. But
Exactly.
hey, like I said, bro,
Right
thank
on,
you.
man. I'm glad you have you. Kirk, thank you as always. Beach, Chad, Root, thank you for finally coming on to my show. I'll come on your show one of these days when I'm not getting ready for work or at work. Mar, thank you for jamming. I do like that riff. And then one day I'll make something with it. And I think that's everybody. So you guys have a blessed night and have some great dreams. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on these YouTube. Peace out,
Peace, bro.
America.